Table Mountain standing guard, the Toyota Dealer Cape Rally attracted 52 entrants featuring Toyota, Volkswagen, Mitsubishi, Subaru and Ford. The first day covered 268 kilometers and included 65 k's worth of special stages, 4 in all. Day 2, on the other hand, split 7 special stages over 131 kilometers with a total of 243 k's clocked up on the day. As always before a rally, the tension was palpable as drivers and their teams ensured that everything was in order. The crowds too were out in force, ready for another round of riveting rally action. Full of twists and turns, it was quite challenging and put the driver's skills to the ultimate test. Damso immediately proved that his new S2000 car was a force to be reckoned with, taking nearly a minute off the other competitors, except for fellow Runx driver Etienne Lawrence. All that Jannie Habig and his Volkswagen could do was watch Damso disappear into the distance. Richard Bem was the best of the N4 cars, with Johnny Gemmell closely on his heels. Fighting was no less fierce in the lower classes, with Craig Trott shadowed by Skalkberger Jr. In Class N3, competition was intense, with Claudio Piazzamuso being chased by Rodney Fasaghi and the Williams pair. In Class N2, Aggie Stroh fought it out with Mike Nathan, both in their Corollas. And in Class A5, newly returned Michael Houghton successfully took on Nkosanathi and Zamandi. Stage results then, Damso and Paisley combining well together, Lawrence and Vermeulen were the runners-up, and Habig and Judd finished third. Of Coetzee and Deploy winning in A5. We caught up with Serge after stage 1. Enzo, on the other hand, admitted to getting a bit of a fright.
Bit of a wake-up call we all had there. Quite a fast stage, so it's not the nicest one to start with in 5th and 6th gear, but the rally's just starting, you know. None of us have really gone flat out in the stage. And after the next one and tomorrow, everyone will start pushing. What impressed us most was the time on the S2000 car. Serge took a minute out of all of us, which proves that the car will actually make the grade and should be able to beat the N4 cars.
And dizzying drops. Damso wasn't intimidated and blasted through the 9.9 kilometer stage in just under 7 minutes, extending his already healthy lead. Jannie Habig fell further back and the N4 cars couldn't catch up either. The pace was just as frenetic in N3, with Chris de Wit and Claudio Piazzamuso chasing John Williams to no avail. In Class N2, Costa Komantarakis was hot on the heels of Aggie Stroh, who in turn was breathing down Mike Nathan's neck. And in Class A5, Michael Houghton gave the rest a rallying lesson to the tune of 22 seconds off his nearest competitor. And Nkosanathi and Zamandi and even the Heineys not being able to catch up. After special stage 2, the results at the top again, Damso and Paisley in their Toyota Runx RSI, while Enzo Keen and Guy Hodgson were the victors in the A7 class. Having upgraded from an A7 Polo, Hogan Fecken had to get used to his A7 Golf. Over the last few years, rally enthusiasts have come to know and love the tail-swagging top car BMW. This year, however, it's got new livery in support of the SA bid for another breakdown for the BMW.
Now, right at the beginning of the stage, it's something mechanically, I think a diff's blown in the back. We're just busy trying to have a look and see.
But the look-see gave the crew another perspective on the BMW's problem.
We can't get the powertrain strong enough to handle the extra kilowatt. We up the power of the motor, and we're really battling to get it reliable.
Battling with his car's reliability wasn't Etienne Lawrence's problem. Instead, he paid for an over-eager driving style.
The shocks came loose and we lost time there. And now I went over anxious trying to get the time back that we lost in the service park. And I hit the rock and now I'm further down. So I think we now need to consolidate and try and get to the finish and try and see what position we can get without breaking anything out.
Damso Senior was looking quite worried about a mysterious sound in the car. So on to stage 3, Ida's Valley, just over 17 kilometers of unforgiving curves in the forests outside Stellenbosch. Proving that the first 2 stages were not just a fluke, Damso set the fastest time once more. In the N4 cars, Ryan went quickly, but Gamel was the only one that could get close to the flying Toyota, followed by Bem. The A7s were led by Jannie Habich, with Fecken shadowing him. In Class A6, Trott drove away from everyone else despite Wilkins' efforts to keep up. Musa was getting to grips with his car in these unfamiliar stages, while Williams was struggling for traction. And current champion Rodney Fasagi wasn't having a fast run at all. Class N2, Aggie Stowe was flying and Komenta Rakas was struggling to keep up. Here we can see why Mike Nathan isn't fast. He's got time to flash his lights for the camera. And in the 1300 A5 class, Houghton was continuing his rally lesson, leaving Nsamandi ever further behind, with the Heinies bringing up the rear. Stage 3 results and the Damso dominance continues, but Johnny Gemmel and Marty Olivier second in the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 7. For the class victories, it was Craig Trott and John Costa in the Toyota Corolla RSI 1600cc who won Class A6. At this point, we'd already lost Mitsubishi driver Fernando Rueda due to a broken drivetrain. Dolf Coetzee had a blown engine and Jaapie van Niekerk drove off the road in stage 3. A man that could count himself lucky was Visser du Plessis.
Everybody hates it. I love it. I love those can't afford to make mistake stages, but we made one. 4Ks from the end, there's a very tight hairpin left, and there was a pole. I just saw it and I knew I was going to scrape it, but unfortunately it was embedded in a big concrete block, and we bent the control arm completely. The wheel was right into the body, and I went off the road twice after that.
Like Serge Damso, some of these stages were very impressive. David agreed. On to stage 4 at Killarney. As the guys were starting, Ben predicted that the A7s would be very quick.
I think they're going to give us a run for our money here, but basically we got four and a bit laps of Killarney here the wrong way around. So we're going to just get it over and done with for today, and then go and service this evening and wait for tomorrow.
Ben knew that Enzo Keen's eagerness to overtake him would cost Keen about 1.5 minutes. He missed the turnoff and had to do an extra lap. The potential spectacle at this stage could have provided was lost due to the organisers not setting it up as a super special. Instead, they ran it as 4 consecutive laps. Faulty time equipment also meant that everybody except the first 6 received an average time. This robbed former track star Charles Wilkin of his first national rally stage win. So, after all those timing problems, the stage 4 results just a little on the academic side. Of Malmesbury for the misty hills of Grabo, moving down into the Caledon area. Stage 6 was Grabo 1, 25.5 kilometers in the pine forests. It was getting oh so predictable, with Serge Damso again heading the pack in stage 6. Gemmell lost another 10 seconds, while as Ben came by, the car wasn't sounding too healthy at all.
What happened?
It's the intercooler pipe has come off, so it's not going to go anywhere until we can get it back on.
If it's not on, the engine won't run. It'll idle, but it won't run.
Was the Vit heading the fierce battle in N3. Piazza Musa was trying his best to catch up, and although the stage didn't really suit the A7s, Habich had a good run. Trot still dominated A6, and Mike Nathan and Aggie Stowe were left standing here by Etienne de Toy. And in A5, Houghton continued to dominate, with Etienne Malherbe minimizing his time lost. Confirming stage 6, and a big one for Jannie Habich and Douglas Judd in their Volkswagen. A good one too for Chris de Vet and Patrick Yende in the N3, and the Toyota Ronex 1800cc running smoothly.
Stages are very loose and rocky, narrow, rough, and a lot of, the old low gear stuff, so bit tough. Once they open up, I think we'll be a lot happier, so we don't have to have all the acceleration all the time, and we can do a bit of, let's say, flowing driving, and that suits us better.
Rodney Fasaghi had a lot of dust to contend with, while catching in Zamandi, who experienced a technical problem.
Now the gearbox backup. Yesterday I wasn't pushing that much. Today I was starting to push because I was know today is a race.
Stage 7 was a 10-kilometer ride also through the forests, and Damso completed it in a scorching 8 minutes 11 seconds. Danny Habich lagged 11 seconds behind, but was trying very hard, with Gemmel breathing down his neck, only 1 second behind. In his Class A7 Runx, JP Damso also drove right on the limit. The other N4 cars that were quick were the Subarus of Ryan and Visser. And Trott's domination of A6 continued. N3, De Wit shared the stage win with Visagie, with Williams close behind, while in N2 the three-way battle involving Stroh, Nathan and Komantarakis continued. Confirming Stage 7's results, and yes, you guessed it, Damso and Paisley yet again on top of the results board. As for the A5s, it was Michael Houghton and Bryn Doherty in the Toyota Taz 1300cc making a clean sweep there. In Stage 7, this golf's run came to an abrupt end.
Yeah, we were going pretty well. There was a left-hander blind that I just couldn't see the rock, and I hit the rock on the inside and it took out the suspension.
And our rally suspense continues after the break. Welcome back to the second round of the Sasol SA National Rally Championship and the action at Houtec, the 13-kilometer 8th stage of the Toyota Dealer Cape Rally. And goodness, there's a new stage winner. Habich blasts through 9 seconds faster than Damso Senior, who's sandwiched between the golfs of Habich and Keen, not far behind. N4 was won by Gemmel, followed by Ryan and Visser in third place. While in N3, De Wit, Piazzamuso and Visagie kept up the fight. N2 was won by Etienne de Toy, who was 4 seconds faster than Stroh, with Komantarakis a second behind. Habich and Judd's partnership producing a victory in Stage 8. And as far as the classes are concerned, Etienne de Toy and Patrick Vermaak coming through in N2 in the Toyota Corolla RXi. We caught up with one of the N2 protagonists, Mike Nathan.
Yeah, well, it's new to me. I decided to go into this year as opposed to A6 from last year and to learn to drive, because all the youngsters are driving into, and I'm getting a bit old and long in the tooth now, so I need to go and pedal with the youngsters nowadays. Yeah, we leading by 9 seconds at the moment, and we lost quite a bit of time in Stage 3 yesterday with a terrible overshoot. And we are fighting back hard now this morning, but Tony Ball crashed in front of us in the stage now, and we don't know how much time we've lost to the rest of the guys.
Stage 9, Klipfontein, where the cars would attain some of the highest speeds on the rally. show that he wasn't taking it easy because of his big lead, Damso won again. However, the most spectacular on this stage was Habech. Watch carefully. Yanni did it safely. Ryan nearly came short.
We hit the jump and then it veered our car to the right, and then there was a culvert, and luckily we were going quick enough and went straight over the culvert. Just if I'd slowed down, we would have gone into the culvert.
Nobody was slowing down. A7 cars, JP Damso was second fastest, and in N3 the fight was fierce as ever, with the changed settings on Piazza Muso's car delivering the results. Damso and Paisley at the top, but the younger Damso and his partner Frey coming through. And in the class categories, it was A7 victory for Yanni Habech and Douglas Judd, and another N2 win for Etienne de Tooy and Patrick Vermaak in their Toyota. Back to greener pastures, and Serge Damso, the man who at the end of this rally would take over from Sarel van der Merwe as the South African driver with the most wins. Serge has been in motorsport for many, many years, most of which he spent at the wheel of a Toyota. We found out how he got started.
Well, I've always been interested in motorsport from young days, and always been involved around people that's been racing and rallying. And that's how we actually started. We got involved more. And eventually rallying was sort of the line I wanted to go. But I did a bit of racing first, and then eventually I swapped over to rallying. It took a few years, but where it really started from in the 80s, that's where we really got into something, you know, into sponsorship from Castrol. It takes many years to get to the top, and experience counts. So there's a lot into it.
From the beginning, he was pitched against some serious competition in the form of racing and rallying legend Sarel van der Merwe.
It was most of the time it was Sarel van der Merwe. You know, when I got into the, before that it was him and Jan Hettema basically against each other, and then Hettema stopped, and then Sarel took over, and then Sarel was basically the guy I had to sort of go for. We respect each other very much. We do get on quite well, I must say, you know, and when the rally was on, we did our jobs, and that's all we had to do.
And an important part of the team, the navigator.
The longest relationship that we've had in a car is Vito Bonifidi, which I started my national championships with. You know, we had a long setting for about, I think, 8 years or so, maybe 10 years, maybe more. And then we had Guy Hodgson for a while, and then Robert just came now towards the end. We do all get excited in the car, and things don't go your way you want every time, and you want to pick on somebody. So eventually, you know, but that's never really affect our relationship. What you know, what I expect from a navigator and what the navigator will expect from the driver. It's a team effort at the end of the day.
Serge has a reputation for being a tough customer, a perfectionist who wants things done his way.
I like things done and properly, and get it done, get the job done. Basically, that's what's the end, and that's what I'm there for.
And his relationship with team manager Whammy Haddad.
I get on very well with Whammy, and it's quite important I do, because we talk a lot about the car, where we're going to go forward and where we're going to improve, and my feedback to him is also quite important, because that's where he must get feedback, otherwise the whole project doesn't move forward.
With everything that is already achieved, is breaking records still important?
I don't think my target is to chase any record. But if the do comes in nice, I'll try my best to win a few more rallies if I can. And I'll take it as it comes. There's no pressure to do that.
How have the rally cars changed over all the years?
I think the cars have come a long way. It's quite an improvement. I mean, it has to keep going forward. You can't go back. The tires, the suspension, so it's an improvement, you know, you do all the time.
And which car does he prefer to drive?
The best setup, I think, is a four-wheel drive car. You know, it's, that's what's rallying, and that's what's you need on gravel road, is four-wheel drive cars.
And who would be superior in his opinion, a track or a rally driver?
A track driver, or racing driver, you'll practice the circuit a few laps, you know, and eventually you'll know the track itself. A rally driver, there's so many other conditions that approaches you all the time. It's an unknown quantity, so it's a lot more of a challenge. You know, at the end of the day, I think rallying, if you watch the World Championship rallying, it's more exciting to watch than the Formula 1, I think.
After all his successes, why keep racing?
Definitely, it's a challenge for me, and I enjoy doing it, and I just can't wait to get in, you know, the first stage and see the time.
After the break, back to the main rally action. This water splash stage, 30 kilometers of fast sweeping farm roads at breakneck speeds. Back to the predictable pattern of Serge winning again. No matter how hard Habeck tried, he lost another 8 seconds. Unfortunately, second place Johnny Gemmell did not come through this stage, being forced into retirement when a turbo pipe came adrift. And here was the much talked about water splash, somewhat drier than previous years, but with enough water to create a spectacle nevertheless. Most drivers attacked the obstacle at full speed, but some were slightly more cautious. And sometimes it looked like the drivers had a competition to create the biggest wave.
JP Danso, Quiver Spray, hit that water very hard now. And then no red limit. Nicholas Ryan has been given and he wins that race now.
Possibly the winners would have been Lola and Megan Fidlock in their yellow Rally Chick Subaru. The smaller cars weren't to be outdone either, because if you lift your foot through the water, you can lose up to 5 seconds to your rivals, and in Class N2, 5 seconds can be a lifetime. Also, making up that kind of time on this kind of terrain can be very difficult in an A5 car. So just to confirm, Serge Damso and Robert Paisley right at the top where they were virtually from the word go. And in the N4 fight, Nicholas Ryan and Schalk van Heerden coming through in their Subaru WRX STI. After stage 10, some drivers needed to explain their performance.
First day went well for us. We were leading. And then the second day we started off good. We were, I think we were back to second, 9 seconds behind. And then we got a puncture on one of the stages and it cost us, 10 minutes. So we dropped from second to last.
Going into the start of the last stage, we were 9 seconds behind after we lost 52 this morning. And we've been fighting back the whole day. And then 9 Ks from the end, we had a puncture. We had to stop and change the wheel. We're going to put new tackies on, and it's going to be one of those do or die attempts.
We picked up the pace, we won a couple of stages, so we're on the pace of the fast guys now, so I'm happy with that. But we've got 16 Ks to go. We can't catch Chris in the lead, he's a minute ahead. So I don't want to risk anything. Also the guys behind us can't catch us, so I think we need to just bring it home and bring our second place home, and that's it.
And we just came in, it was a left-right kink, but in the middle of the kink was a dip, a caution dip, and it was a bit of a late call then. Once we hit that, just launched us, and there was actually a fence post, which I don't know how we managed to avoid hitting it on head on.
The final stage, 15 kilometers called Nieuweberg. Serge could take it easy and safely in the second place, so could Habig. Third position was a major battle between JP Damso, Nicholas Ryan and Enzo Keen, with Ryan taking his first ever national championship stage win by beating the other two into submission. And even after this mistake, the Rally Chicks were heading for their best ever 10th position overall, while Visser du Plessis was looking at second place in his class. Now firmly in the lead in N3, Chris de Wit could also be fairly cautious. While a throttle problem let Williams slip back to 4th place. Mike Nathan had lost his lead in N2, and as the cars carved up the mountain, Aggie Stowe consolidated his lead in this class. Houghton finally concluded his rally lesson, and everybody could head back to final control. Having won the rally, Damso confirmed the most successful rally driver in South Africa title. We wanted to know what it felt like to beat Sarel's record at long last.
It's very nice to do that, and it was nice to be involved with with Sarel. We've been coming for a long time, and we're friends. It was a good challenge. Just showed the work that the team did back home. Really, they put a lot of work into it, and I'm glad for their sake that the car won this rally, and that's for them.
I had no idea what time we had put up, and when we got to the end with the stage time we did, it was fantastic. I pushed it to my limit because I had 4 seconds that were 4 seconds difference between Enzo and myself, and somebody from behind with that talent, you got to do something. But coming out of the stage, taking 40 seconds off JP and 30 seconds off Enzo was fantastic, fantastic.
We had a good dice with a couple of guys. And then the last stage, I think we took it a bit too easy on the last stage, so I think we're 4th overall, so it's good enough.
Yeah, we had a bit of bad luck on the last stage where we had a drive shaft broke 10 k's from the end, and we lost a minute, so it was a little bit nerve-wracking until the end. But second, I suppose we should be happy with that, and we are.
Yes, I think we were trying to get up to Nicholas Ryan, and we got to within 3 seconds, and then on the last stage he just went, I think for the first time ever, he drove his car the way that it's intended to be driven. So I went up to him now and said, Nicholas, that is how you should drive your car every stage. But he took 30 seconds out of us. So, I think in the end of the day, we're still leading the championship. We're happy with bringing the car to the end. We did try hard today, but you cannot make up 2 minutes. That's unrealistic. I think it's proven now that the S2000 can stay ahead of the N4 cars with ease, and I actually cannot wait to get into my four-wheel drive. I want a four-wheel drive now.
So, to confirm the results of the 2005 Toyota Dealer Cape Rally, 67 wins for Serge Damso, together with navigator Robert Paisley. They had 3 minutes and 46 seconds to spare over Jannie Habig and Douglas Judd in their Volkswagen. In the classes, it was Jannie Habig and Douglas Judd in their Volkswagen. They had 1 minute and 25 seconds worth of gap over JP Damso and Kobus Frey in their Toyota Runex. In the A6s, a good win for Craig Trott and John Costa in yet another Toyota Corolla. In the A5 class, it was a clean sweep for the Toyota Tazas, Michael Houghton and Brian Doherty, leading Malherbe and Portis and Mabanga and Lawrence home. In the N4 class, it was Nicholas Ryan and Schalk van Heerden in their Subaru. They had 3 minutes and 19 seconds to spare over Visser du Plessis and Tulu van Westragen in their Subaru. The N3s and Chris de Wit and Patrick Yende in their Toyota Runex came through to win over Claudio Piazzamuso and Janine Labuschagne. And just 1 minute and 21 seconds separated the winners in the N2 class. Aggie Stowe and Jurg Steyn over Costa Komatarakis and Barry White, and all three of those pairings in Toyota Corollas. Join us again next month for the Total Rally of South Africa.